Good morning from Morocco. Currently here in Marrakech and I'm doing some exploring in the morning. So we arrived yesterday in the afternoon and by then the city was very busy, so we walked a lot through the Medina and there were many people and it was impossible to take any photos. And so that's why I decided I get out this morning before sunrise and try to find something to photograph when the city awakes. So when there's not so much going on yet, it's much calmer and it's better to explore. And that's what I'm doing now. Hopefully find something. If not, it's no problem. Tomorrow we're heading onto a tour into the desert. So there will be landscapes for me to photograph and I'll take you along, show you the landscapes we find. For now, let's see what I find here in Marrakech. So I think it's time for a little update. We've now left Marrakech and are driving over the Atlas into direction of the desert. And we're doing a tour with Wild Morocco. And we're here at a little viewpoint where you can see in direction of Marrakech where we came from. So you see all the rolling hills here. It's not the best light for photography, but that's okay. So I have some spots planned for the tour where I want to take photos. This is just a little stop. And yesterday in Marrakech, you saw me walking around in the morning and I tried to do some street photography, but it wasn't very fruitful. So I didn't take many street photos, but in the end I found a nice view where I took a photo and I already showed you this. And I think this turned out quite nice. And I'm now very excited to explore some landscapes, to get out into nature. And I show you a lot more now, but now I get going. So we now drove all the day to come here to the Draa Valley, to a place called the Hara Oasis Lodge, which is really a little paradise. So after all the noise of Marrakech, it's really nice to be here. And what you see behind me, this was basically my planned photo for this evening. This mountain looked so nice, the reflections. Only problem is there's no foreground. So I've only seen very few photos of this mountain on Google when I did some research for this place, and there I had some foreground rocks that looked very nice, and they flooded the river, which they do in winter apparently. I didn't know this, and there's nothing of interest in the foreground, and for this reason I think the photo I wanted to take doesn't work out. So I took a photo, I can show it to you. It's not very good, and that's sometimes what happens. If you plan a photo trip, you can plan as much as you want. There's always something which can go wrong in terms of the photo. So in this case, we're near the desert and I have too much water for the photo I wanted to take. That's kind of funny, but Anyway, I'll enjoy my time here, and tomorrow we're going to the desert, so really into the desert, and I'm sure I'll find many photos there. So wish me luck for some yeah, some more photo opportunities.
The first opportunity came quite unexpected the next morning. I woke up very early and found the perfect view for my photo of the valley. Despite all the scouting along the river the previous evening, in the end the perfect spot was right on the terrace of the lodge, and a long lens allowed me to capture the beautiful light of the morning. The previous evening I was so focused on trying to get the complete mountain into the frame that I nearly missed this view.
So we finally made it into the desert. It was again a long drive today, so I think we went more than 2 hours off-road to get here, and that's also the reason why I decided to visit the Erg Chigaga and not the Erg Shebi, because to get here you really need a guide who drives you there, so there are no buses going here, hence there are less people. And yeah, currently in this camp you see there are many tents, but other than us two, there may be 4 other people now, which is great. And it's really nice. If you see in the background those dunes, I think I'm gonna climb on one of those for sunset, see what view I have from there. And yeah, tomorrow we'll also stay here. So I'm gonna get up for sunrise and then sunset again. And yeah, hopefully I get finally some good photos, because as I said yesterday, it wasn't ideal. I found something, but yeah, this is really what I came for, those dunes. And yeah, during sunset this should look nice. And now I can quickly show you our tent. Let's quickly get over here. So if you look inside, it's quite cozy. Many blankets, carpets, and yeah, currently it's quite warm inside, but during night I think we need all those blankets, because yesterday it was already just 4 or 5 degrees where we were, and now here in the desert it will also get very cold in the evening. So I brought warm clothes, I even brought some sleeping bags, and yeah, we should be fine. But now I'm gonna chill a bit and later explore the dunes. Now look at this view. Just 45 minutes walk from our camp is the highest dune here in the area, which is also why I picked that camp. And yeah, now we're here 1 hour before sunset, and I brought the long lens and have all those views for me to explore with the long lens. So many compositions. Also, we made sure to be the first one up here. There are coming a lot more people now because there are many camps, but that's no problem. Since I'm using the long lens, nobody will in the way of my photo. And yeah, also I think I'm gonna head back here tomorrow morning, so I get up very early, and yeah, maybe I then have this view for myself, and will even try something with a wide angle lens. But for this evening, I think this sea of sand will be perfect, and gonna get some shots now with a long lens. Another day here in the Erg Chigaga, and I went back to the Grand Dune, but this up there, I came down this ridge a bit because there's a lot of wind, and this removed any footprints of the people which got up here yesterday. So this time I brought out the wide angle lens, and I now have this ridge here in the foreground and then endless patterns of sand. And yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to photograph. And yeah, I already took some photos with the orange glow, so half an hour before sunrise. Now it's just minutes before sunrise, so you see the sun will soon peak above the horizon there, and then I'm gonna get some nice photos, hopefully, with just the ridges lit up. And yeah, that's maybe 5 minutes of sweet light, and yeah, afterwards, as it gets higher, the shadows get shorter, and yeah, then I'm gonna pack up and head back to camp, which is quite far in this direction. I think maybe 45 minutes to an hour. But yeah, it was worth getting up in the morning. Also some clouds in the distance, which I didn't expect to see here in the desert. But yeah, so far quite excited here. Quite a productive trip. Like yesterday, the photos with the long lens were also quite nice. But yeah, now I'm excited to get some wider shots. So let's see what happens when the sun comes up. So I think this morning's photo shoot was a success. I got a nice photo. Hopefully it's sharp and everything, but otherwise I like the composition with all the lines, and as the light hit the dunes, it was beautiful, just as yesterday evening where I was shooting with a long lens. Yeah, now I'm on my way back to our camp, which is a little bit of a trek, but now that it's bright enough, can actually see the tracks where the camels go. So as I said yesterday, there are many groups here in the area, and many of them do some camel trekking to the Great Dune, and yeah, I can now easily follow those to find my way back. Also now I see the bigger dunes there, so I can orientate myself. But this morning in the darkness, it was not so easy to follow those tracks, and for this reason, what I did before we came here, I made sure to get the satellite maps for Google Maps, so I have them offline. Then I set markers to the points where I wanted to be. So for example, I set a marker for the camp, and then a marker for the big dune, and by those I could navigate just with GPS, even without internet. So just knowing which direction to go is a big plus if you don't see anything, especially in the desert where if it's dark everything looks the same. Yeah, and now I'm really hungry. Head back to breakfast. Actually the camp, it's really nice. We had very good dinner last evening, typical tangine which you get here in Morocco. And yeah, let's see what breakfast has in store, but it's quite luxurious, I'd say. And yeah, if you ever come to Morocco, make sure to spend a few days in the desert. There are many tourists going here. They arrive afternoon and already leave the next morning, or yeah, somewhere around breakfast. But yeah, this way you can't really experience the desert, I think. This is why we have 2 nights here, so I can be a little more in the desert, walk around a bit more, maybe find some other dunes from which I can photograph. And yeah, now it's like 30 minutes walk, and yeah, then let's see what I find next.